Here we are in the Lamborghini Urus. Oh yeah, this is by far the best SUV I've ever driven. That's way over the Trackhawk by Jeep. And yeah, I mean, the Rolls Royce, I've driven the Rolls Royce, but it's not as sporty as this, obviously. This is just incredible. So today, we're gonna drive in this Lamborghini. And I wanna thank all of you subscribers for getting me this far along, and I want to thank Lamborghini for providing this vehicle and the fuel. Well, I kind of used all the fuel, so we'll go do a little bit of a quick run to get some coffee and then get some fuel, and I'll tell you all about this really awesome machine. Once you get your seatbelt on, you just put your foot on the brake and then pull back on this paddle. You end up in reverse. You get your camera here. It's not a 360-degree camera. I don't know if there's an option, but for the price of this car, I'd assume it would have one. And there is no way to go into drive. You don't like push forward or pull back again. It doesn't work like that. What you do is you go to the paddle and you pull on the right paddle and it puts it into drive. Fully automatic, of course. And this also has air suspension, so when going over these speed bumps, it feels very comfortable, which is surprising because I figured the Lamborghini would be like the roughest, hardcore thing out there. And in fact, this ride is like one of the most compliant for a sporty SUV. This definitely rides better than the Mercedes AMG SUVs. This feels more flat in the corners, more controllable, and we'll get to the elephant in the room here in a minute. Let me just get to a nice area where once the engine's warmed up, we can exploit the exhaust. By the way, props to Lamborghini for letting me borrow this vehicle, even though they know where I live. Yeah, I live in not the best of neighborhoods. That's what YouTube salary does. Wow. Yeah. I mean, this thing definitely turns heads. It is by far the car that has given me the most attention ever. And yeah, people wanna race. They want to do all sorts of stuff. I don't do any of that, but they just seem to want to have some fun. And yeah, they egg me on. But I mean, these people have some high aspirations around here, so I'm always obliged to indulge in that, if you know what I mean. By the way, this is making that sound. It's really annoying. If you're as big as I am, 6 feet tall, 300 pounds, no, 275 pounds or something, this will rub against here. So if you're a footballer, play football, or you're a big athlete, this will still be kind of a tight fit, although it's got a lot of room in the shoulders here. It's just the seats. I wish they did something about the seats. You have to kind of sit yeah, narrow, if you know what I mean. All right, let's get driving here. Right off the bat, this thing starts in Strada mode. And when I mean Strada mode, anima, according to my friend's awesome Italian wife, means soul. So when you start this thing up, it's just in street mode, street soul. And then you have other modes here called Sport, which is obviously sport, and then Corsa, which is track, and then Neve, which is snow. So there are different routes you can take as far as like the level of soul you want, and it really does make sense because you will hear and see what I'm talking about in a second. Then there's over here on this side Ego, which is basically personalized settings, which I never really use unless my phone's in here and it hits a button there on accident, which is not really the best design. Another thing that's not the best design is you can only pull on this paddle, you can't push on it. So once you get into Corsa, you have to go all the way down into snow and then back up. So you can't just go right to regular mode. But what we're gonna do is open the sunroof here so we can let some sound in. And we're gonna switch it into sport mode. And then I'm gonna buy some time here because we don't want to hear that guy. And slow, low. We got this little tunnel here where I can open it up a little bit. You can see here in sport mode, the gauge changes. We have all sorts of different things we can change here on this mode. Ready? throaty, right? Very throaty. We're still kind of cold. You can see the oil temp down there, so I'm not going to push it hard while it's cold. That'd be really stupid. You know, you got to take care of your things. So what we'll do is we'll get behind this Camry. Well, apparently he's too important to stop at the red light, so with these modes, you also get stiffer suspension, the vehicle lowers a little bit, and ironically, we do get four-wheel steering, so it's up to 3 degrees turn in the rear wheels. But the real aspect of this car is the acceleration. The towing on here is a little slow, meaning it's not like reactionary off the line right away, but you're able to like smoothly drive this car, and you can do that until you get to a stop. So if you're in regular Strata mode, and what happens is you get auto stop start, which is on by default every time you get in. When you get to a stop, it shuts the engine off before you actually stop. So it's a bit of a rough landing, so to speak. Like, you can never smoothly stop in this vehicle with the stop start on. So we'll do it here. We'll just kind of come to a slow, and you'll see engine's off, and you can see it's just kind of a jolt there. It's always hard to control that. So I turn that off. Unless I'm low on fuel, then I try and save fuel, right? All right, so we're gonna warm up just a little bit more, and I'll catch right back up with you. Obviously, this thing's fun, no doubt about it. There are some annoying things, which is like when I get in it and start it up, and it's in Strata mode all the time, the gauges always default to this, and yeah, I think there should be a setting for that. I'm not sure where it is in here. If I go here, I mean, we have different settings we can do. I'm not sure if, yeah, okay, so display, but left hand, let's see. I don't even, what's operation in rear? Okay. So you can turn off the rear air vents. You can work on the settings here. I don't know. It's just like, where's the settings for those? A lot of cars have like display changes, but I don't really see it. Another thing is when you get a text, it doesn't really display here either unless you have the app on your phone or something like that. It's just kind of like, what? But that's like an Audi thing, and that's the elephant in the room here. This is basically an Audi SQ8. However, it's a Lambo. And what that means is there's no more understeer. And they've eliminated the kind of the plow that happens when you're going through corners. And so from the perspective of the way this thing drives, it is bonkers. So you got all this power. You have this nearly 650 horsepower twin turbo 4-liter V8 just rocking it. And I know if you watch my other videos, you'll know that I interviewed the Lamborghini CEO last week, and he said that there are hybrid versions or electric versions of this car coming. So the aspirations here are high, because this thing is just bonkers. 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds, somewhere around there. And the best part is you can do it with passengers. So it's not just you and one person in the car, or just you. It's a whole rear seat. There's 5 people in here that can just have fun, and I've done it, and it was great fun. So let's move on to that tunnel and see what Corsa mode sounds like. It's hard with traffic, but I'm gonna do it anyway, because screw these people. They're all commuters. I don't commute, and I have no sympathy for commuters. I just don't. It's the animal in me. Okay, so it's kind of slow. Corsa mode, everything's tight, everything's on high alert. You can see the gear change. Ripping it. So yeah, it's fun. It's outrageous. I love it. I would even do this if there were cops nearby, because you know what? At this point, for the price of this car and the taxes I paid, I want to have a little fun and I want to get away with it. All right, let's go get some fuel. You're probably thinking this is the terrible Lamborghini video. I have no production value, blah, blah, blah. It's YouTube, bro. Get used to it. This is real life. Look, I'm surrounded by cars. It's traffic. I can't use it. This is not Mexico, although technically it is. If you know where I am, which part of Dallas this is. There's an I-8. This is just a, you know, real life example of what daily driving a Lambo is like. I would certainly do it. Even in the roughest towns, this thing just like gets people all excited. I get thumbs up. I get this a lot. Just like, this thing is crazy. And a lot of people keep a distance because they're not sure if I'm into, you know, dealing or something. So this has been crazy. Come on in. Come on in while everyone's stopping. Just jump in. All right. Let me get some fuel. I think I'll just get some Chevron up here. That'll be easy. For this kind of neighborhood, this station is not the cheapest, but we're gonna do it anyway because nobody's here. Oh wow, $3.89. Are you kidding me? So when it does the auto stop start in regular mode, I can just, instead of hit park, I just turn it off. It goes into park, and then it will set the parking brake if we're on an incline, or you can pull it up, whatever. This has a few packages on it, so let me walk around here and show you. I also need my wallet. You see the lime green trim and the matte fiber and the matte paint and the green on the wheels. Just there's a package for this, and I'll tell you what that's called in a second. Whew, man. And I like keeping it dirty. The dirty thing is like a lot of FU aspect to it. Look at this. This is cool too. The actual fuel cap. It's plastic or composite, whatever you want to call it. Cool. Let's get some fuel. $4.59. Whoops. Put some in there. I'm returning it today, so I'm not going to give him a full tank. But I'll give him enough to go around. You'll see the lime green brake calipers, carbon ceramic brakes. They're huge in the front too. Of course, it has a trunk. It's not a 3-row. It's got just Alcantara everywhere. Power trunk lid. It's very Audi-like, obviously. Nothing to worry about there. Look at the size of these brakes. And these are 285/35/23s Pirelli P0. In the back, 325/30/23s, Z-rated. And if you see here, the L, that's a Lamborghini tire right there. That's crazy. I don't know why it shut off, but I'll take that. Thank you, Jesus. Saving me some money. All right, let's get back in this bad boy. Gonna get some coffee now. Hopefully I'm giving you like a daily driving experience. The best part is walking up to it. Just this angle here is really cool. Or even the angle here. Look at the window sticker too. All right, fired up. Seatbelt time. Okay, lock the doors. They're electronic handles, so when you lock, you don't hear an actual door lock because there's nothing mechanical. It just disables the handle, which is really cool. All right, window sticker time. I don't know if you took, if you guessed or not, but this is what we're gonna have here. So this is actually a 21, and when I asked, there is no difference between the 22 and the 21. There's a difference on the 20s. For 20, they added soft closed doors, which this has. And they changed the key design in 20 as well. So this is the latest key. This is what it looks like. Lock, open the trunk, unlock. This pushes in, but it's just to disable the, like, you could just give it to the valet, I guess. Or not, actually. This is just to get in if the battery's dead, which would happen if you don't drive this very often and don't have a charger. Panic button. It says nice Lamborghini on the back. Perfect. Anyway, moving on. $252,348. Who cares if you can afford that? Good for you. $4,000 in destination. And then you'll see here we have external paint Grigio, so external extra paint, green calipers, acoustic heat insulating glass, the panel roof, very nice. Graphite Capsule, that is right here. That is the name for this carbon fiber, I guess, trim level with these green trims. And then I don't know what the $1 Urus Graphite Capsule is, but obviously, yeah. So there's the window sticker. That's abbreviated. And then this is the full deal here. Fuel economy, 17 on the highway. I'm actually doing better than that. I'm doing like 18 in the city if I try. So it actually has 4-cylinder mode in here. And it will go into that mode. See if I can get to the right screen. Right there. It'll show you when it's in 4-cylinder mode. And then view. I can get to like G-meter, tire pressure, obviously the torque settings, stuff like that. Not settings, but just, yeah. We got some screens here. I can't default them to anything in particular. I don't know if that's just me or if that's the car. But, yep, that's what we got. Oh, I also want to show you how you know what the paint color is. To that, we have to go to the trunk. So it's in park, brakes on. When you open the trunk on this Lambo, you open it up, right there is the paint color. Grigio Nimbus Matte PPG sticker. So cool. No spare, obviously. Weight reduction, and we are on run flats. Soft closed door. Yep. And I know if you're going to say, well, what happens if there's a power failure? How do you get out of the car? These revert to manual handles. So there's no like backup handle. That is the backup handle. And if you were ever like, you know, in a rollover or the battery disconnects in that situation, you still have an exit point. And then we also have auto hold for the parking brake, and then this here is like the driver assistance levels, and you can change it all you want. I'm gonna stick with probably basic, max. Let's do max. So we have blind spot monitoring and all that. Okay, we got half a tank. That's good enough. I think they'll appreciate that. I'm gonna go get my coffee to do that. We're gonna get that faster in sport mode. I actually don't think it's faster in sport mode. I just think it's more, how would you say? You know, like Italian, like hey, personality. It just changes the personality. It doesn't make it like sports runner in sport mode. It's just more enjoyable. You will only get like the fastest mode and like the blistering lap time thing when you're in Corsa, but you can take this to the track if you own one. I could not, because it's not mine. It belongs to Lamborghini, so I want to thank Lamborghini for that. And we have a lot of pollen around here. I don't want to underestimate or understate how much pollen there is here. It's like littered on the floor, so it's just Anyway, my allergies have been in check too, and I guess it's because I smoke cigars. If you didn't know, you would know if you follow me on Instagram. Whee! So again, the air suspension here does something that no Lamborghini I thought could do, which is, obviously there was the LM002 back in the 80s, but this is like the version of the Lambo now, right? So this can still do hardcore off-road things. School zone, I gotta put my phone down. All right, and the school zone ends right here. Okay, so like I was saying, I was in this car for 6 days just about, and going over some of the worst roads because it's under construction and Dallas roads aren't the best. But still, this thing being a Lambo, I wasn't worried about ingress and egress on driveways. I wasn't worried about bottoming out the front lip under the bumper. I was just able to just drive it along carefree like everyone else here today. Granted, you know, you won't get one of these for $250. You'll probably end up paying like $300, but you can do some pretty crazy things in here, and that's the whole point, right? You want to have that Lambo experience, which is what this delivers. So yeah, you just can't time things with people driving the way they do here, but you can pass them, and that's what we're going to do in sport mode. Actually, maybe we can't, because there's just so much traffic you can't open it up, and this was the frustration I had on the first day. You just can't. There's just nowhere to go, and you're like, wait a second, I want the full experience. I think right now we're gonna have to just work with this. Yeah, that's the Lambo experience. This thing is just, you know, when I see it, it's always in like the higher, wealthier income areas, and they just kind of poodle along, you know, like, oh, I'm just going out for, you know, looking good. And whereas the way I drive these cars, I want to use them. So for me, it makes more sense to open it up, but you have limited space where you can do it. I try and do it where I'm not going to get into a pickle. So I don't, oh, that exhaust sounds so good. Let's get it in Corsa mode now. As it warms up, it does more things, which is another sign that you're doing it right. Let's roll down the windows here. Corsa mode. And the brakes are huge too, so the brakes will definitely slow this thing down and scrub off that speed. All right, I want to give you more of that experience, but you know, I don't have a camera person with me, and it's rush hour morning traffic. Obviously, I want to thank you for hanging with me this long into this terrible video, and you know, I wouldn't be able to have such leverage with manufacturers without you subscribing. So please subscribe, because there will be more videos to come in my fashion, not like some ridiculous, you know, supercar blondie / Shmee 150 way, because I don't make that kind of money. And on the other side, it's basically me just being me. So if I don't want to edit, I'm not going to edit, and I'm just going to keep it real for you. So I hope you appreciate this real aspect of this experience, because I wanted to share it with you in a real way, unlike other people. So hold on a second. I'm trying to find parking. I want to get coffee. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate. You know what? Let's do one more lap. I hear the cops coming anyway. All right, so we're gonna go into this time. We're gonna just keep it in sport, so the traction control's on mostly. And if I was to do Corsa, I don't have traction control on and everything. It's kind of, roads aren't that warm. So this thing has like an exhaust system called 360, and it envelops the whole cabin with noise. And I highly doubt there's anything tuned in here, like through the stereo. It seems real to me, and it definitely opens up in the front. So there must be a valve. I don't think it's a sound actor like typical Volkswagen Audi group does. To me, this seems like a legit exhaust experience, because there is a 650 horsepower V8 under the hood right in front of me. So we're gonna do this U-turn. Again, these brakes are awesome. And looks like there's an opening, but you gotta look that way. In this car, you need to prepare for what you're gonna run into, and I'm always prepared, so I'm just gonna wait. Now it's a little bit better. Move over. Yeah, I mean, so like the cars and coffee people and those like crazy, ridiculous supercar crashes, it's because you're just not prepared for the speed and the power, but you get used to it. If you've owned an AMG, if you've owned M Series BMW, you just kind of know what's happening. You got to think a second or two ahead at least. I'm just gonna make sure he's not moving into my way. That guy's gonna move back over or not? We're gonna pass him. Such an easy thing to do. I hope somebody heard that. I'll make this U-turn. Oh, yeah. You know, it's a great way to commute. Sport mode, baby. All right, thank you for watching. I know I didn't show you most of what's going on the roads, but that's okay. I think what I'll do is I'll just park it over here where I'm not gonna get a door ding, and get my coffee, and then I gotta drop it off. So, yep, thank you very much. Close the sunroof. Park, lift, off. Luckily, we still have power on the accessories until I open the door. Oh, yes. My wallet keeps falling out. Everyone who gets out of this car, they leave a phone or a wallet behind. Maybe that's why these Lamborghini drivers are so successful. It's a joke. It's a joke. I love this car. The only thing I really wish, beyond the stupid tech things I mentioned, was I wish these seatbelts were green. That would be really cool. Of course, you get your embossed headrests. Just everything about it is just really cool. I'm taking photos right now for my Instagram. Is that how a social media person does it? I don't consider myself an influencer, so boom. All right. Such a nice paint job too. Lock it. Thank you for watching. See ya.